It's like it just like the internet hiccuped a little bit. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was Twitch maybe instead of Discord. But
Twitch has been
Well,
having an issue a couple of days.
yeah. I'm not sure if it's a combination of maybe the internet's gone a little choppy, or if it's Twitch, or it's anyway. We'll see how it goes. How's it looking?
It rebuffered for a second, but now it looks alright.
Yeah, it's saying unstable, which now it says excellent.
You went robot for like a split second, but then it evened out and you're fine
beep
now.
burp bap beep burp bap beep burp. All right. Okay. Okay now. All right. So sorry, Ster. Go for it.
no problem. So no, I'll start all over. No, I won't.
The internet gored you.
The too long didn't read result is you just got to pay your dues and
Yep.
explore Shadowlands and find out what's safe and what's not.
Yeah.
And for your class and for your style of challenger, you've got to figure it out yourself because there's no notes out there yet that tells you what's good and bad.
Yeah. And I suppose the whole thing, as Chris, like you had just mentioned, Shadowlands is the home of the dead. And it's kind of like, what do you call it? Like an oxymoron? Is it like an oxymoron? Here we are as challenge toons, not allowed to die. And we're going to the place where all the death is. So it's a bit, it's a bit like we're trying to defy the odds with getting a toon through Shadowlands with no deaths. And it's kind of, I don't know about you guys, but it's kind of like one of those things that I kind of just feel like going, yeah, like, we've seen some people do it, or seen one person do it so far, and it's just kind of like, it's kind of exciting. So we will see how that goes. But yes, mobs are hurting. And they hurt a lot. So even on a regular toon. And if anyone wants...
see regulars.
Yes.
Yeah, you see regulars dying. That's your clue.
Yep.
Yellow.
And you know what? If anyone wants to know where the really good places to fall off things are, let me know. I've got a list. So... is it buffering again? It's being... Yep. It's being silly. Yep. What's going on? I don't know. It seems to be back.
No.
Is it back? Yeah. Anyway. So, yeah. Okay, Nisey. What do you got?
I'm gonna agree with Ster. It is rough. Like any new expansion is getting used to, what we can and can't get away with, and trying to figure out the new mobs. But this expansion's been doubly overwhelming in the fact that even Old World's different now to a degree. Because we've had several X-packs of, everything's gonna scale with you, and now if you don't turn crummy time on, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Not to the full extent. Like, it does to a degree, but then you've got certain areas that cap out at certain levels, which we haven't had to deal with in some time.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to sort of semi-reverse that thinking that we've had drilled into our heads, where we didn't have to think about it. I mean, a lot of people do use Chromie time. I'm not using Chromie time just because, from a bloodthirsty standpoint, when you start messing with the scaling on purpose, weird things happen. So I'm just like, I'm fine without it. I'm gonna do it. I can do it without it, and I'm gonna. So I haven't really touched that yet. But it's also a bit of a mind warp Twilight Zone feeling, because our new end game is 50 to 60, which is really difficult to wrap your head around after being 120 and being in the high 110s or whatever, 110s for so long, that now our old 50 to 60 behaved much differently. And we could coast through stuff at, like, maybe not coast, but we didn't have to pay attention as hard in the old 50 to 60.
Yeah.
We sure as hell do now. Because, one little mistake in your rotation can cost you now
Mm.
dearly. I have found out. So it's kind of getting, you know, it's tough because you're kind of being hit from both sides, where even in the old zones, and like the old zones, you can kind of go anywhere to 30 to a degree. I mean, we have the option of even popping into Pandaria or Shadowlands. You know, it's trying to find a new path is very overwhelming, and it's going to take time for everybody to figure out what's going to work for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that might be the biggest challenge right now, because yeah, you can do those old paths, but sometimes you really weren't a huge fan of that old path, but that was your only option. So now you kind of have to figure out, well, can I go here where I like it better? What are these mobs going to do now at these different levels that I never saw them at before? So, you know, it is all about figuring out what the mobs are going to do to you at high level and low level.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, you never know.
Exactly. And that, I suppose, is, as we've all got different play styles, you know, between the five of us. Like, we all have different ways that we play the game. We all have different focuses when we're in game. There's, you know, some people get a little bit sidetracked when they're playing the game, specifically, you know, not mentioning anyone in particular, but you guys know who I'm talking about. So, you know, it's those challenges of not only getting used to your play style with new content, but just the new content within all of that, you know, where not to go so you don't fall to your death from that mountain or that mountain, or, you know, that mob does an ability that starts, like you said, like gore, that's going to start eating into your health, and you might be, you know, 3 ticks of that on a challenge toon and you're dead. Mightn't even be 3, like, you know. So yeah, all of that makes it interesting. And then on top of that, we've got old world, new world, you know, there's so many things. So there's lots to take in, and it's great because everybody likes to share, which is great for the community, not only in Discord, but on our forums, you know, on doing the podcast. We can get some information that might help someone else, you know. So I think that's always a positive thing. So we are all learning, most definitely. All right. So zones. This is always a interesting and obviously subjective topic. Zones that we have, zones that we find are most, you know, normally we do what's the good zones and what's your bad zones. I figured that we would focus mostly on the friendly ones for this, because we all want friendly things. We've had so many different unfriendly things happening in the last, you know, couple of months. So let's look at all the friendly things. So zones for you guys, while either you're leveling, whether it's in new content, the older content, fair. What's your friendly zone that you find?
Well, in general, both up through 50 and on Pacifist after that. I like Kalimdor.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, I level there when I can, up through Northrend, and after going through, you know, once I can fly, I get to Northrend,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm still figuring out how to mesh Pandaria with that, because I also like Pandaria.
Yeah.
So those are my 3 kind of areas that I like.
Mm-hmm.
I did one scout where I went over to Draenor early on, and yeah, I opened her garrison early, but I wasn't happy with how it played after that, because so many things were level locked,
Mm-hmm.
She was less than 20, but a lot of things weren't available till level 35. So I was like, well, this isn't any fun.
Yeah.
And then they removed experience from picking flowers and mining
Mm-hmm.
in your garrison. So, yeah, I wasn't enamored of Draenor.
Yep.
So, but Pandaria I still love,
Mm-hmm.
and Northrend I still really enjoy.
Yep.
So those are my
Okay.
favorites.
Nice. All right. Okay. Ster, how about you?
I'll speak about Shadowlands because I think everybody's got their favorite zones already in the old world, which now includes, BFA
Mm-hmm.
and Legion and stuff like that.
Yes.
I would say Arden Weald
Mm-hmm.
seems to be the most friendly so far of the Shadowland areas. And maybe because it feels like a night elf kind of zone. Well, they call it Night Fae, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so it's got that dreamy night elfish feel to it. And statistically, I haven't died there yet, so that's good.
Yeah.
So
It's always good.
We'll use data. Any deaths there? Nope. So
Nice.
but I would encourage players who are going through there you can't drop your guard anywhere.
Mm.
All the zones have ways to kill your challenge toon,
Mm-hmm.
especially in Shadowlands. And when you're using the threads of fate, which really is the only real way you're going to get to 60, is but when you do use that, it means that all the mobs, no matter which island you go to, with the exception of the Maw, but all of the islands are going to be scaled to you. And so you go, oh, okay, so you can hop around and go to any of the 4 islands you want.
Mm.
But here's the funny part: all islands have at least some pockets of level 60.
Yeah.
So I'm being a rogue or a druid, in stealth. I'm just whistling and just kind of like, let's go on a country drive and look around and see what we see. And I think it was Rogue Slayer who said long ago, turn on large nameplates.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And so you're just and you see a little glimmer of red, further up ahead, and you go, oh, okay, well, I'll just go a little bit slower, but click on that red and make sure, because if it's a 60, one time I was just in Bastion, I'm just walking around and looking up, and there's things flying overhead, and they're 60.
Mm-hmm.
And they're looking down at me going, hey, look, a tasty morsel. And so I'm like zooming to try to get out of there, because you can be like 52, 53, and you're near some 60s, and they will aggro you and teach you a lesson. So,
yes, they will.
Yes, they will. So, and I know that you wanted to keep it on the positive, but Maldraxxus is very hostile. It's just
yes.
I would love it if I could get to 60 without stepping foot into Maldraxxus.
I was trying to think if any of the other zones really had some kind of area effect that Maldraxxus seems to throw out, and I don't know. Honestly, the more that I'm thinking of it, I've not spent a huge amount of time on my warlock over in Maldraxxus. But it's got those, what do you call it, the ziggurats or whatever that are around, that are, ziggurats. I don't know if that's part of it, but I know when I've been in, is it the theater? It's the Theater of Pain that's right in the middle of Maldraxxus. I know when I've been running around there doing various quests and had, this massive blue, green, pools of something that have popped in front of me. And I don't remember seeing any of that in Bastion, in Revendreth, in Ardenweald. I don't think there's any AoE that kind of just shoots out, whether it's randomly, I'm not sure, but is there.
Well, around that Theater of Pain, there's a 5-person quest, and I can't remember if it's part of the end campaign there or if it's just a quest too. I remember trying to do it on my main and just getting obliterated multiple times, where mobs, a boss will spawn in the middle, and then it's just constantly doing crap all over the ground. And if you're too close to the steps, the AoE stuff that it was doing was kicking out of the arena on the ground outside of it. So it's a little sloppy around in there.
Yeah.
And you really have to be careful.
Yeah. Well,
Are
I know.
you talking about slimes falling on the path around Theater of Pain?
Well, yeah, I'm not. I just can't remember if it was.
It's actually a world quest. It's absolutely adorable of all things. You have to go around and you're inviting everybody to come to the Theater of Pain.
Yeah.
And on a normal, you have to go around and light these 5 fires. And if you step on the slime, then it slows you down and you're not going to make the timer. So the green things that you see is it's the whole circle around the Theater of Pain.
Yeah.
And all it does is slow a normal down. It's actually a really super cute quest.
Yeah.
But that's probably what you're seeing.
Okay, all right. Well, I know that there's been other times when that world quest or daily, whatever you want to call it, hasn't been up. And I had some pools. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before. I was over in the section on the right, when you look at the map, on the right where there's all the NPCs and you talk to them about, you know, there's some gear or go pick up the quest. There's a quest there that you go back into the Theater of Pain. I think this one's the one you were talking about, Nisey, where you get to fight one of those like little bosses.
Yeah, you had to do it like 3 times or something.
Rotates. Yeah, that rotates down in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was coming back, this big glob of green, you know, hits Leeta and like stuns. I think I took a little bit of damage, but nothing, you know, nothing hugely, but it's enough that you kind of just going, you know, it's like, so.
Yeah, one of those abilities did stun one of those AoE shootouts, because I kept getting hit with it multiple times. I was like, dang it. But I don't remember anything like that happening in any of the other zones.
No, that's what I'm trying to think. So I would agree. I think definitely Maltraxxus is one of the most unfriendly zones, even for a normal toon.
Which is so sad, because I love that zone.
So
I love that zone.
I want the you know, when you fly over and you've got that, there's the big wall and there's this skull, like this throne chair, and there's this massive skull. I just, every time I you know, I'm just like swinging the camera around, just going, yeah, I want one of those. That's what I want. So yeah, it's definitely being careful is the way to go. But you could say the same with anywhere. But thank you for that. Nisey, how about you? What have you found has been very friendly for you?
Well, that's hard to answer. Since I've been doing mostly Bloodthirsty, I've encountered an issue with the Threads of Feet questline in the tracker that we still haven't had the Code Wardens had the chance to look at yet, so I can't utilize Threads of Fate at the moment. One character I did is temporarily flagged. But before I realized they were flagged, I hopped into Arden, and from a Bloodthirsty standpoint, I didn't like it. There's too many patrols, mobs were too close together. They did lovely spells that definitely concerned me, and I'm like, oh no. I ended up leaving, and I went back to Bastion. So far, Bastion has felt about the best from a Bloodthirsty standpoint, at least. I haven't had the chance to check out Revendreth from a Bloodthirsty standpoint, but but there's some things I don't like about Revendreth that would be very difficult for a challenger, at least to handle long term with all of the weird debuffs and things out there.
Yeah.
But But I mean, it's a little difficult with not being able to use threads, because then you have to deal with the mob levels you're dealt with, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And so I mean, you have to cope and deal with it. But the mobs are spaced out pretty good,
Mm-hmm.
for the most part, depending on where you go. There's plenty of non-hostiles, neutral mobs that you
Yep.
can go after in a pretty good area. I totally agree that you have to have the large nameplates on.
Mm-hmm.
There's sections and bastions with foxes that are the same color as the grass field they're in. And in one particular
Yes.
section, these foxes are hostile, and they stealth. And I didn't know they stealthed. And I'm walking through there, and I'm like, oh, hey, I'm gonna tag, where'd you go? And I'm like, oh, no. And I'm standing in the middle of this field, and I'm like, oh, shit. And I'm like, abort. So I stick to mostly the road.
Mm-hmm.
I see the road. I don't go too far into any of these grassy areas, but there's butterflies that you can kill. There's if you have ways of healing and dealing with the gore damage on the lower level mobs in there,
Yep.
then you can go after those too. There's some mobs I won't touch. Some of the foxes are fine if you know how to handle them. But it seems to be the more friendly for my bloods, at least, because you have room to move. Now, I have found a couple mobs that I refuse to touch out there, but you know, there is one neutral mob that's a ram. Don't touch him.
Yep.
He kicks you back.
Yep.
Quite a bit. And so that's like the one neutral mob out there I won't touch, because he did get some yardage on me. I felt like the gnome that I am being punted. So you know, it was a surprise. I wasn't expecting that, and I was like, oh, hi.
Mm-hmm.
Right, let's not do that. So as soon as I got him dead, I'm like, yeah, okay, bye. So I'd have to say, so far, Bastion, as far as Shadowlands is concerned, it's still not great, but I think it's the least deadly so far,
Well,
without using Threads of Fate.
Yeah.
From a bloodthirsty perspective.
I was just thinking, as much as I know that Maldraxxus is not a super friendly zone for a lot of things, Maldraxxus does actually have quite a few yellow mobs that are within the vicinity, I suppose, of that center, you know, theater of pain. Whether that's something that you want to try and test out, but I know, you know, when you're looking obviously for a blood, you're trying not to find massive red, you know, red areas of mobs. Maldraxxus.
Yeah, Maldraxxus scares me though. There's a lot of stuff on the ground at times, depending. Like there's like some slime pools. Some of them are fine. Some of them.
Chris might have to. You might have to take Nisey and hold her hand to Maldraxxus. Chris loves Maldraxxus.
I've had trouble with people grabbing mobs and then running by me. And I'm like, oh, so I'm like, I actually had a couple people do that, and they ran through me, and the mob ran through me, and I'm like, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. I'm like, you don't see me, you don't see me, you don't see me, because I was in the middle of a fight. I could not disengage. I have no aggro drop, no real aggro drop on a priest. I mean, you have fade, but it doesn't drop aggro. It doesn't get you out of combat. And I'm like, okay, please, please, please. It did reset, and I was like, oh, thank God. But I've seen people do things when I was on my normal in Maldraxxus, and I'm like, no. So it's just like, no thanks.
Well, you know, it's like anything. There's an option. There's, you know,
yeah, it is an option.
It's an option.
If
you know,
maybe once
when hell freezes over,
sorted. And maybe once threads get sorted, and I can take that flagged blood back out, because that's the demon hunter, and she can handle stuff. So I might take her over there, because she can handle more than one mob at once if it so happens. So I kind of think I know the area where you're talking about, and
it's not far. It's not far. There's a lot of yellow mobs. I can't think. It's like a funny looking cow, bull, goat. I can't
I
think.
think I know what you're talking about. It kind of
Yeah.
looks like a bone graveyard, kinda, but not exactly. I think I know what you're talking about.
I mean, it
I
might.
might take that one over to investigate once she gets unflagged, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
All right.
She's the only one I'm willing to risk on it.
All right. Well, we'll see how we go, but at least there's definitely positives out there, which is really good. Because we know there are certainly a lot of not positives with what we're trying to do. So so thank you for sharing those. Chris, what other question did we have for our wonderful guests?
For our wonderful guests who have given so much wonderful tips and tricks over the years, I would like to know, what advice would you give to anyone leveling a challenge toon in Shadowlands?
All right. Fair. What do you reckon?
Okay. First of all, enjoy leveling up to 50.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of try some new zones, maybe do some zones you didn't spend much time in before. I'm trying to take that advice myself.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how that goes.
Yep.
One piece of advice that I'm really pretty serious about is delay going through the maw until you have exhausted all experience available outside of it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't rush in there. I mean, go to BFA and do chests, do exploration and Legion, do whatever you can do that will give you experience before going to the maw. On my working man, I went very late through the maw. I was 57 when I went there. I wanted to see how it was. And the mobs in the maw itself do not scale. So they are gray.
Okay.
Which is nice. I like that.
Yeah.
I don't care about the experience at that point. I'm already 57, so I just want to get through it alive.
Yeah.
And then she was a working man, so I didn't really care if I was getting experience out of the quests that I did once I got there, because I was really there to gather and explore. That was her mission in Bastion, was to do exploration and gathering. And I do a few quests, but not a lot of kill quests. I don't have threads. I'm not going anywhere at this point from there. So yeah, just get all the experience you can before you go there.
Yep.
And my own advice is play the toons I enjoy, which to me means working toons and greens and pacifists until I have the option of threads.
Yep.
And scout everything. Absolutely everything.
You are the queen of the scouts as well. Yes.
Use the scout of the right class and challenge type.
Yes. All right. Ster, what about you?
So, I'm going to repeat a little bit of what Ferre just said, and that is yes. If you're playing a challenge toon, you can get to 53 or 54 through Old World. And you're going to desperately want that, because when you hit 58 and 59 in Shadowlands, you're starting to run out of quests that you can do safely. You're starting to run out of XP, and you're just waiting on world quest and bonus quests to pop up that you can do.
Yep.
And not all of them, you can't do all of them. So the later levels are thin on points, so you can delay that and save it by going. And I'm doing that right now with my druid. My druid is 53, and she's about to ding 54, and then I'll take her over to Shadowlands and start them. So, but you've got to scout every quest, chest, mob, bonus quest, world quest. You have to scout it. And the reason being is because, like we were saying earlier, Blizz changes things up. The animals and critters, they've got different capabilities. You're looking at a map and you see, oh, well, there's where a chest is. If you've not done it before, you better. Almost, I would say so far, 90% of all chests have some negative thing associated with it.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, mobs will spawn.
Yep.
Just something you're like, oh, really? Like in one zone, there's something called Arlo's chest or something like that, and you click on it, and instantly 10 hornets are on you.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, well, a regular can take out 10 hornets. A iron, not so much.
Yeah.
And also, you don't know if your shadow meld or your vanish or your feign death or anything like that is going to disengage it.
Mm.
So you got to scout it. And no one else has mentioned this yet, but this Shadowlands gives you a lot of helpers. So you'll get a quest,
Mm-hmm.
you'll start it, and you'll get a helper that will tag along with you.
Yep.
Or you'll be on the quest and, you got to go open up cages. And you open up a cage and you release something, and it tags along with you now, and it will fight for you too.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a problem as well, because once a fight starts, it's to the death.
Yeah.
And it's either your death or the hostiles, and your helpers will aggro mobs. And so, that's a bonus too, by the way. If you're a rogue or a druid, and you go into stealth or prowl,
Mm-hmm.
your helper will also do that too.
Oh.
And it's
Yes.
and it's even
Okay.
true in the mall.
Yeah.
So when you go into the mall with a rogue or a druid,
Mm.
you stealth. So does all those helpers that you get as you're going through the storyline. And so you can walk around a lot of hostiles because your helpers are not aggroing them,
Mm-hmm.
because they're stealth too. So,
Good to know.
hey, bonus.
Okay.
So,
But be careful if it's Anduin. He'll just walk through all the mobs, through them all, and just kind of right through 'em. Yeah.
yeah. The other thing that's kind of cool about Shadowlands is, in Old World, how you'll be walking around and you'll see a skeleton on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And, if you've been playing the game long enough, you can kind of tell whether that's a player skeleton or that's a part of the scenery skeleton.
Yes.
And you don't really think too much about it.
Mhm.
Like if you see a skeleton in the middle of Stormwind, you're like, aha, the Horde tried something stupid. But in Shadowlands, a player, when they die, they leave behind a misty, wavy, fluctuating
Yeah.
skeleton.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see them a mile away.
Mm-hmm.
If you are on a quest and you're approaching the quest area and you see those misty, waving skeletons, you should say to yourself, why are regular players dying?
Mm-hmm.
Because if regular players die, an iron will too. So keep an eye out for skeletons.
That's
And then last
a
but
good
not
point.
least,
Mm-hmm.
handy notes. So for all the add-ons that different players load onto their machines, handy notes now supports Shadowlands.
Mm-hmm.
And when you click up on the map, it'll show you where all the chests, mobs, rares, and the world quest and the all the different quests are at. So
Yep.
very, very, very nice.
Yes. Very handy to have.
Very handy.
Most
Connie.
definitely. Alrighty. Thank you for that information, Ster. Nisey, how about you?
All right. Well, since Ster touched upon handy notes showing you where rares are, I wouldn't recommend touching them in Shadowlands.
Mm-hmm.
They are nasty.
Yep.
And they're like world quest level
Mm-hmm.
rares. Like BFA was when it first got started. You don't want your challenger all tripped up in that. Let's just go there.
Mm-hmm.
So big advice, and it's gonna be the same thing. And I know we sound like a broken record, but it's the only way to get the point across is you need to test everything.
Yeah.
If you have not seen it before, even if you have seen it before but not seen it from a challenger perspective, you need to test it from a challenger perspective in triplicate,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes RNG is playing a big part on how that goes. So I
Yes.
mean, two times it can go fine, and the third time it didn't do that before. So
Yeah.
I would multi-test things if at all possible. Definitely definitely those large nameplates that help you see something that you might not have realized was sitting there.
Yeah.
And basically, you know, you have to find a new play style that's going to work for you. Like we all have different ways that we play and different challenges that we play, and not every play style is going to work for every person. So, you know, maybe listen to others' experiences, what they've run into, what did them in, what didn't do them in, where the areas they had success, and maybe with a test character, use that knowledge to try to help build a better path for yourself. I'm not saying, you know, take what this person said worked for them and take that, you know, 100% and try to duplicate it, because their bars are going to be set up differently. It was probably a different class that they were using, even a different race they may have been using, because, you know, you've got some racials that may help them use that playstyle better than what you're doing.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to, I mean, even trying to duplicate it down to the T, you still play differently than someone else does.
Yeah.
You know, just in how you view things and how you approach things. So I think while it's good to listen to other people's knowledge, I would also not follow it to a T, because it's part of the challenge journey trying to take that knowledge, correlate it into something that's going to work for you. And that's the big thing, is that you have to find your path that's going to fit your play style in order for you to be successful.
Yep. Testing, as we know, you know, is very important. I think more so this expansion, more so than anything that we've previously had. So but again, you know, all the wealth of information that we're finding from not only from you guys, from other challengers out there playing their toons, finding things out, the sharing that we have with this community, which is fantastic. So we greatly appreciate that, and that helps forge what we're, you know, what we're doing, what we can try, what we can test that works for us, our toon, you know, and again, because classes work differently and how we play them also works differently. So thank you for all that information, because, you know, the brain's like, yay, so much, which is great. But we appreciate you guys throwing all this information out there so that people can gather and utilize it, which is always a great thing. Alrighty, bumper. Where's my bumper? Here it is. Let's do this one.
Breaking down news from the world of Warcraft.
Good old Rogue Slayer, and at the moment she is having a little break from playing her challenge toons, hence why, you know, we don't have her here this year to start the year off. We hope that she is doing well. Actually, I know she's doing okay. so we send much love out to her, and she'll be back when she's revitalized, re-energized, all of that kind of thing. But for now, we do have some news, and we did share some of that at the beginning of the show. So we have got some new level 60 shadow champions. That's what they will be referred to for this expansion. So our very first toon to hit max this expansion would be, who was that? Ferre.
I don't know.
Yeah. One of those Passy types.
Oh, one of those.
One of those. So, Ferreskyye, absolutely. So you are our first Shadowlands Pacifist champion, as I mentioned before, which is fantastic. Forging the way with digging, because we all like to dig. Dig, as we know. But not only that, then what was it? Was only a space of, was it a few days before we had our second?
Maybe.
Maybe it wasn't that long.
I got jelly.
Mm-hmm.
So Passeyster became the second pacifist champion.
That's exactly right. Now, has this been... You guys probably have a better memory than I do, because everyone does. Is this the first time that we've had the pacifist hit before any other challenge type? Or no? Do you remember?
I don't know if it's the first time ever. Maybe?
Because I was...
have to go back and
Yeah.
the website because I wasn't doing the write-ups from the beginning. So
Maybe. But not only that, not only did we have one passy, we had two passies hit, which is, you know, again, like within that short amount of time. So Ferre and Ster, massive congratulations on that. However, just recently, only about 4 days ago?
Yep.
About 4 days ago? Nisey, what happened? Who did we have?
we had our first Iron Shadowlands champion in Tejbegriz the Third.
Absolutely. Massive congratulations to Corpsgrine on getting his pally as our first Iron champion, which is amazing. He will be joining us next week, so we're gonna be picking his brains next week. Oh yes.
He you know, Nisey and I did the write-up for him, and if you haven't read it, the write-up, go read it, because he gives a lot of details of how he climbed. You know, in fact, it took his third attempt on a pally.
Yeah.
And so it's just a fun story to read, and you're like, oh my. So
yeah.
But you know what? It inspires hope. If a paladin, you know, which are pretty capable in the first place, but they don't have the escapes like Shadow Meld and Vanish. But if a pally can get to 60, that's like, well, hey, if he can do it, I want to do it.
Yeah.
Can't even stealth, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, you can bubble Hearth, yeah, but what's that on, a 10-minute cooldown? It's, you know.
Just don't set your Hearth in Mildred.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. No setting in there, definitely.
Well,
and
the 10 minutes is good because that gives you a chance to go change your shorts. So
yes. That is true. That is very true. All right, but not only that, not only do we've got, you know, Shadowlands, we've got Shadow Champions and 2 passies, we've got 1 Iron, and then, you know, things are going along, and just what, within the last 24 hours, along comes, just, you know, again, she's not only the queen of our pacifists, but I have to say, she's also the queen of our working men. Ferre, what did you do? You come along and you go ding.
Yep, decided to ding.
Yes.
Working man on my Night Elf rogue.
Nice.
She actually started during the Working Man challenge. She was not a contender in that challenge.
Yep.
That's when she started.
Nice. That is so great. So we have got 4 Shadowlands champions, guys. That's just already. We are like 2 months in. Like, I wasn't quite expecting this when I was doing beta and all the testing and even playing Shadowlands. I thought, oh, this is going to be a while because some aspects are quite nasty with taking toons and leveling. And you know what, you guys just blow me out of the water. So massive congratulations. Hang on, let me find. I've got a little here. Bravo. Bravo.
Bravo.
Bravo.
Let's also pay our respects to those that have lost toons already in Shadowlands, including Zaya and Lyson, and I'm sure there's others who, because you know the state of the challenges is kind of goobered up right now, but there's been a number of folks who've lost toons, and so we say, hey, you know, thanks for forging, but keep trying.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, as we know, their commiserations go to many. We know people have been leveling toons, people have been out there trying things, whether it's from low level to the higher level. And again, the information that we get that is being shared as to, you know, what's happened, little things that are popping up, bugs, little, you know, just things that happen within the game. And we appreciate everyone sharing this information because it does help, you know, it helps us all. So we appreciate that. Alrighty, but again, I have to say congratulations to our Shadow Champions already, Ferre, Ster, and Corpse Grind. Amazing job. So, woo, whoop, whoop. Hang on, whoop, whoop, whoop. There you go. Okay, it's one and only time I do that for you. All right. So just some other quick news that I'll get onto. So some website news. I've got a banner. Once I take down the Christmas New Year banner, everyone, there is one saying that you can add your irons, passies, and the bloods. They're able to add toons. You've got manual updating of toons. Seems to be working for that. There is no automatic updating. The Code Wardens are still working on that. Something's not triggering right, and from what I remember, Ster, that was coming from a bit of Blizzard API stuff into code stuff, so it's kind of a little bit this and a little bit of that. So the automatically updating isn't happening, but you can go and do a manual update on your toon on the website. Okay, they are still working through stuff for Green Man. Working seems to be working okay, Ferre? You said that was triggered okay?
Well, I can update my existing
Okay.
working man.
Yep.
When Zaya, I believe it was, tried to add a new one,
It was
he got
having
the
issues.
not working thing
Yeah.
where it said you have no skills.
Yeah. Yes.
Just like the green saying you have no green equipped.
Greens.
And that,
Yeah.
the green problem exists even with updating previously max level greens at red flag show.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you do that.
So at the moment, it's basically greens working and teams are, you know, they're still, again, there's a lot of stuff that they're trying to work through. And these are guys that have come in and trying to understand all that. So patience is appreciated. We know it's a long process, but there's just a lot of code. There is not only a lot of code from Blizzard with changing things, but we have got the old code, which was Stone's code, the medium code, which was Olm's code, and now they're trying to fix and make things better for us. So it will take as long as it takes. Apologies, but there's nothing that I can do about it. I'm not a coder, so I can't just go in and wave a magic wand and make everything work fantastically. But the guys, they are working on it for us as best that they can. So we will let you know when everything is good to be able to, you know, start adding those toons and updating and all of that for those. Alrighty. And due to that, of course, State of the Challenges at the moment will be down for, just assume it's going to be down until I say that it's back up working. But yeah, so that's probably the easiest way that I can say that. Okay, now just a couple of other things. We have got a issue. I'm going to take this issue right now. We have got a stats in-game issue that we found yesterday. Basically, there was this little mini update patch that happened with the game, and that triggered where the stats for your toon is way off. So, Nisey, I think it was you brought it to my attention first off. So, I know when I logged into Leeta and I was playing her, and then I looked at my stats, and it's like, you've got 2 kills. I'm like,
That's panic-inducing when you're on a bloodthirsty
Yeah.
and you're checking to see if your kill stats still counting towards the green mobs. When last night when you logged out, you had 29,000 and something, and now you have 1. It's like, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
So like some of the stats on the in-game stat screens are frozen and locked and set to 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, depending on what it is. The gear tracker in the stats is still functioning. And visually at least, and the creatures that you've killed the most stat is still ticking up if you kill something of that type. So it might just be a visual issue.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's still functioning in the background because I did some testing last night, and the tracker on the website did pick up a quest I did on a bloodthirsty, even though the in-game stats page did not.
Yeah.
And it did not flag me for kills on a low-level bloodthirsty, which it should have if the kills weren't registering after getting a full level. So it might just be a visual issue.
Yeah. So, and there's forum posts, like Blizzard knows there's
forum posts from people.
Yeah, so we just wanted to give you the heads up, so don't freak out if you happen to go to your in-game stats and be like, what the hell's going on? And as I said previously, it was there, and there was this little tiny update which seems to have triggered it. That's what I put it down to. So yeah, so don't stress. Blizzard are aware. Yeah. Don't stress. It's yes. All right. Now the other couple of other things I wanted to mention. Spreadshirt has got a 15% off. That is going from January 12th to January 16. So if you want any merchandise, Ferre, how's your mug and your bag going?
Wonderful. I have a Passy mug and a Pacifist bag. Love it. The mug is nice and cozy with a nice cup of warm tea.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's
the bag is holding yarn for me at the moment. So.
Oh well, hey, absolutely. That sounds like a fantastic thing. There is many different designs up on the website that reflect the various challenges. Ferre got the Pacifist one, which is very fitting. So if you want to go and check it out, as I said, there is 15% off from the 12th to the 16th. So, very soon. So notice that. Now, the other thing that I want to give a big shout out to is that Con Before the Storm is happening as we speak. So they are doing a visual online Con Before the Storm. I participated yesterday in a Shadowlands 1 panel with a group of fantastic people. Frasley was there, we had Neth, we had Hydra, there was EJ, and I'm missing someone, going completely mentally blank, but we had a chat about Shadowlands. I spoke mostly on the perspective from challengers, and that was good fun. So if you can, please want to support a amazing community event, then pop over. You can check out the Con Before the Storm, the website, and also they are running, so there's the schedule's up for the virtual, and they've got a Twitch channel, and they're doing a whole heap of things. Everything's free. It's a community event. They normally run at a BlizzCon every year, but due to us not having a BlizzCon, they've made it into a virtual presentation, and all of that will be happening from now up until the 17th of January. Did I mention Hydra? I thought I mentioned Hydra. But yeah, it was a lot of good fun. It was so great to catch up with people I haven't spoken to in a little while. So that was good fun. Other than that, I think that's it. All right, let's go on to, where is my bumper? I've lost my bumper. See, Leeta has too much time when she goes on holidays and moves things around. So I moved things around and then I can't find them. Which sounds about right. Alright, here's this bumper. Where are we?
This just in. It's Chit Chat!
Here we go. Alright, as we like to always start our chit chat with, we haven't seen him for a little while. I should poke him. Ster, have you spoken to him lately?
Yeah, we trade messages on. He is in.
Yes, I know he's
been
playing.
He's playing on his 16. We just chat back and forth. His spouse was having some difficulties last year, and so.
Yes.
But she's now back home, and so
which is
I think
great.
He's getting in some quality time. So,
nice.
So good for him.
Yes. That, and you know what? Quality time is always a good thing, and he certainly deserves that. So, anyway, let's pay his bumper because we do love hearing this little bumper from Azzy. So here we go.
It's Azzy's pun.
Makes me smile every single time. All right.
Yeah.
All right, Ster. Hit us
So,
with it.
By the way, speaking of quality time, when I'm playing World of Warcraft, my wife considers that quality time because I'm not bothering her. So it's different parts of the planet, different scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
So, from the SC Pun Vault, why did the toothbrush cross the road?
I don't know.
Just for a change of paste.
Right. Okay. Yep.
Silver.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Silver.
Maybe silver plated. I don't know.
So if he's listening to this later, catching it later, this is your call to come back and bring some good puns.
Yes, I'm almost out.
Yes,
We're
absolutely.
digging.
I'm looking at you, Dave. I'm almost out.
All right. Well, we do have another one. So, Nisey, what have we got from Dave?
Oh, speaking of Dave, he says, I am reading a really good book about anti-gravity. I can't put it down.
Oh, an oldie but a goodie. Love that. That's good. That's good. Thanks, Dave. Thank you, Dave. Oh, thanks, guys. We do appreciate them because it's nice to have a little chuckle or a sigh or a face palm. Reaction is good. Reaction.
Things up, you know?
Yeah, exactly. All right. Chat room. What have we got from the chat room? Anything here? What have we got? Any questions? We've got lots of chatting about Threads of Fate. Okay. How do you say that? A Pickfell one? Sorry if I butcher names. That's what I do. So I'm just going to call you E. That'll do. They mentioned choosing Threads of Fate seems to reset a lot. Finally took the Tin Man Druid to Threads, and when faced into it, the stats recorded that I only had 1 death, though I had 4 to that point and had only earned 5 copper. Yes, that's the bug right there.
Yeah,
I got 4 copper.
I don't think it's related to Threads, though,
Yeah.
because I've had it happen on characters that didn't select it.
Yes.
It seems to be related to the update that they did yesterday, because that's when it started happening, was after that update.
Epic. Oh, is this supposed to be epic fail? Oh, see, Gotcha.
Okay,
All right.
I see it now, yeah.
Epic.
Alright.
I see it now. At the moment, I'm looking at it. I'm just like, I have no idea. All right.
I don't know either.
Yeah, always give me like the sounding out version, because otherwise my brain is just like, what's that? But thank you. That's definitely the bug. I think it had down, I had on Leeta that I had the my auctions, I'd been like 4 copper, and I'm like, 4 copper?
Were
What the?
telling me I completed a quest on Bloods that never did a quest, and I'm like, yeah, no, that's not right.
It's
Yeah, it told me I did 1 daily quest on my Pacifist. Yeah,
1.
1. Yeah.
Yes, it's things are very, very strange as we are. Well, that has been kind of how things have been with this expansion. There's lots of things that we need to take in. But again, you know, just if in doubt, just you know, take it easy. I suppose that's probably the main way to go about. Okay, any last thoughts before we wrap up from our wonderful guests today? Ferre, Ster, Nisey, anything you want to close out with?
No. Get out there.
Get out there.
Nope, said it all. Yeah.
Excellent. Alrighty. Chris, Iron Elites,
We
please.
very, very, very much like to thank all of our Iron Elites for all the support you give. Heart you, leader showing you a heart. We would like to thank Alejandras, Awesome Trousers, Boz, Cell, Chupa, Crash Landing 99, Dave DeHunter, Execute, Bear, Gaston, Grand Angus, Iron Brittle, myself, new name, Laren Ramar. I was going to butcher that one.
Well
Leeta,
done.
Mr. Bright 01, Miss Miggy, Mers Charming, Nisey, Rude, Ster, Stone, Swing Cat, Tiber, aka Tiber, Wynema, Zaya, and Zorts.
Nice. And again, thank you guys. Thank you for all your support. It is greatly appreciated. It helps to run websites and all of the things and all of the stuff. So thank you so much for that. Alrighty. From Stone, Ster, and myself, we would like to, as always, say thank you to our wonderful mods for all the things that you do. We do greatly appreciate it. Again, these guys, you know, give their time and their knowledge and their advice and their feedback and just being here, you know, helping out. So we appreciate that. So to Awesome Trousers, Boz, Execute. It's not that I forgot his name. I just... Anyway.
Okay, that was...
Don't.
I was trying to figure out what name to call him.
I was literally gonna go. I was gonna go. Anyway, Execute, Ferre, Chris, Nisey, Zaya. Thank you guys. I do appreciate that. This is the problem. See, you've got real names and you've got game names. Okay, it's just sometimes my brain just does not like to go with what the real names are because we're talking game. Game should be game names. Oh,
That's all.
yes.
A few weeks since we had to use our internet handles. So.
Exactly. So, Paul, sorry, sweetie. He's not gonna watch this. It's okay. He probably will. Anyway, apologies. Also, we want to say thank you to our Code Wardens, who is Naptime, Bell, Fimless, and Elkie. Thank you for giving of their time. Everything that they do for us is on their own time, and we appreciate that. And we know life has been very crazy for them as well. Obviously, Christmas, New Year, they have families like we all do. You know, things are very busy. So we appreciate everything that they can do for us when they have the time to be able to do that. We do appreciate them. So thank you. To everyone here hanging out again, thank you so much for being here to start off our 2021. Everyone listening on the podcast at home, thanks for subscribing or listening, and we do appreciate that from you. Now, I will be back next week, which will be Saturday, January 16th at 7 p.m. Eastern, and as I mentioned, we will be having Corpse Grind coming to have a chat, and he can tell us all about getting his iron, becoming our first Iron Shadow champion, his Iron Man. I'm not even going to pronounce it because I butcher it every single time. Thank you. my co-host next week can do all of that. And that's where I've got the other half's going to come help me next week. So firmly giving him that job. So yeah, so I look forward to catching up with Corpse Grind because it has been a while, and I really want to pick his brain for all of us to find out all the things and the stuff. So Dave, thank you, and Chris, thank you for your sub 28 months, woman. Heart you so hard. Wow. Heart you too, Dave. Just saying, I do heart you hard as well, Dave. Okay, so thank you. All right, for you wonderful people being here today, Ferre, Ster, Nisey, thank you so much for joining Chris and me and welcoming in 2021. Can you please tell everyone where they can find you and get in touch with you? So, Ferre.
For me, it's pretty simple. I'm on Discord as Ferre, or on Wormrest Accord in the Guild as any of a variety of bear tunes.
It's the easiest way to find her. Absolutely. All right, Ster, what about you?
Ditto. Okay. Discord. On the right-hand side, you see all the people. Look at the very top. That's me, Ster. And you can also find me on Wormrest Accord as well. Just do a search for Iron Man or Ster, and you should find me.
That's it. Absolutely. All right, Nisey.
So you can find me in the WoW Challenges Discord as well. If you're not in the Discord, then it's Nisey4863. I stream a few days a week. Might be bumping up to an extra day, maybe next month. We'll see. But I do some art streams and some WoW Challenge playthroughs. So my Twitch channel is NiseyBGN, and I'm also on Twitter, and that is @NiseyBGN.
Excellent. All right, thank you guys for that information. Now, don't forget where you can find all of the things, which is over at wowchallenges.com. We have got our Facebook, our Discord, our Twitch, our Twitter, the YouTube channel, so all the information's over there. You can listen to the show also by downloading episodes on either Google Play, iTunes, Spotify, or Stitcher Radio. And if you want to contact the show, or me, primarily, send an email to podcast@wowchallenges.com. Chris, lovely, where can we find you, please?
Well, in about 10 minutes, you'll find me sleeping.
Yeah.
Other than that, where am I? Twitter, it's KhrysW. Other than that, WoW Challenges Discord or Paradise Discord. That's about it.
Excellent. Thank you for that. And for me, if you want to find out what I'm up to, pop over to Twitter. I am at LeetaWow, which is LEETAWOW. And every now and again, Stone and I do have another show, which is Adventures in Azeroth, which I do really should kick him up the backside, and we should get I think it's our 100th episode, which we still haven't got around to doing. So, yeah, we were supposed to do it last year, but you know, life as we know, life is been a bit crazy. So, it is what it is. I really don't want to use that for this year, but it's kind of shaping up to be that kind of year as well. It's just,
Seriously.
Yes. It's anyway, we've got many good positive things to look forward to for 2021. So yes. All right. Other than that, our last thank yous. Chris, who have we got?
Our last thank yous for the intro that still to this day makes me nort.
Yes.
A big thank you to Mr. Bright01 on the intro. You can find him on Discord at Mr. Bright01.
Thank you, Ross.
And also the biggest thank you to Epic Insanity for that just absolutely tremendous outro. Makes me smile every time. I truly enjoy it. You can find him on Twitter at epic_insanity, as well as the Frozen Nerds podcast.
Absolutely, and we do greatly appreciate wonderful friends of the show and them helping us out on that, which is great. Alrighty, guys. Well, thank you so much, chat room, for hanging out with us. Welcome back, and happy 2021 to you all. To my wonderful co-host and guests here today, thanks so much for giving of your time and all the information. Congratulations again, Ferre, Ster, and Corpse Grind for our Shadow Champions so far with Shadowlands, blowing me out of the water with what you guys are doing. So take it easy. Have a great time, both in and out of game. Stay safe, and we will catch you again next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Take care, guys. Be safe. Bye-bye.
The WoW Challenges podcast is a World of Warcraft gaming podcast. Produced by Stone and Leeta, copyright 2020. Portions.
Yeah, I'm waiting on Epic to get me the new one, and he's been sick, so guess who's going to fix that in post and make some random, probably 2020, 2021, 2021. So I'm going to have to do some editing. All right. All right. Yay! I was going to say, you haven't norted today.
He was noting off mic, though.
Most probably. Sorry, excuse me. All right. Show titles. I have got 4. I've got Mind Warp, Test It, Build a Better Path, or I Got Jelly. What else? Nisey, did you have any written down?
I didn't get the chance to write any down. I just thought of one, and I just did that quick. Oh, what was it?
Anyone got any show titles they'd like to add? Nothing?
Challengers, we can do it.
Challenges.
Something about our Shadow Champions.
You guys are so sweet. I'm like, oh my god, it better be or I got jelly.
What about like
a moment?
That's classic. I love it.
Well, we were talking about the slimes and Max Meldrax's too, so he's green. We're walking on slimes. I'm like, oh, yes.
We
simple
like that.
Woman. Simple woman.
Exactly. All right. I got jelly. Sounds about right. That'll do. That'll do. We're done.
Who got jelly?
Yeah. I wonder. Jelly and ice cream. Oh, ice cream. Oh, summer. It's so hot, guys. It's summer in Australia.
Oh, sweetie, I got 2 inches of snow. Come see me. 2 inches of snow.
I want to make a snowman. I know, it's so hot and it's disgusting. It's like, yeah, summer in Australia. Fun and games, definitely. All right, okay, we're gonna cut the stream. Blah. Words are hard. We're gonna cut the stream. Everyone,
First week right there.
have a good week, everybody. We'll see you next week.
See ya.
Bye.
Good show.
Bye.
Bye.